This video is for really busy people who understand that health and well-being is their #1 priority, but struggle to find time to work it out for themselves or just don't know where to start. Let's face it, we're working longer hours. We're trying to achieve more in less time, and we're living in the world of information overload. No wonder that 1 in 5 of us feel unusually tired, and 1 in 10 experience constant fatigue. So in this episode, I've set out to explore the core principles of healthy living in a big and hectic place like London. In this video, I will put to test the leading advice on healthy living, record the process, and together we'll witness the results of the experiment. We'll smash through the top 6 obstacles to keeping up with the healthy changes, such as time, cost, confusing information, lack of motivation, cravings, and distractions. If, like me, you're also looking forward to start feeling less like a morning zombie and more like a happy and energized forest fairy through your whole day, then stay tuned. My name is Catherine from I Demystify It. If you start off by asking people around you what helps to stay healthy and energized, the advice can range from very helpful.
You have more energy after you get out and do something and you're active.
Join the gym, cycling.
Eat your veggies.
Not eat processed foods, probably.
To quite confusing.
Smoking, drinking and exercise. That's it.
Drink wine, not beer. More wine than beer.
I believe exercise is like looking after like a Ferrari or something like that.
There is plenty of helpful information online, but often there is as much information supporting the fact as there is against it.
The best is to see your nutritionist.
Thank you, sir. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I was intrigued by the live blood analysis that lets you see your little blood cells blown up to apple-sized images on the screen and can report on your dietary scenes in a microscopic detail. Okay, shall we do it?
Yes, let's do it.
Oh, whoops. That wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. What we can see here is that most of them are round and nice, but some of them are not. They are sort of a little bit oval shaped. Some of them are a little bit stuck together. Some of them are quite small. If the hemoglobin is not strong, or if their membrane is not strong, they can implode a little bit, and then we'll see the right light coming through here. And that can also be a sign of low in iron. So you mentioned you're tired, so that might be one reason why you're tired. But I mean, we haven't talked about your diet. What sort of food do you eat? Do you get enough iron?
So I've been a raw vegan for a long time, for 1.5 years, and then the past 6 months I've been eating everything, to be honest, because I just felt I had enough of that.
Okay, so enough of the raw vegan, and now you need to abuse your body a little bit.
Yeah.
There's lots of undigested bits in the plasma, bacteria. The membranes of the cell is not great, so you're not taking up your essential fatty acids very well. That also can indicate dehydration, and often when you are low in essential fatty acids, you are dehydrated as well. So your diet, when we look at your diet, it's looking that we can do some improvement with it. Breakfast-wise, for example, and iron-wise, black tea will stop you from taking up your iron. So whatever iron you might have in your cake, the black tea will stop you from taking it up, basically. So 1, increase your iron. 2, decrease your coffee and your tea, or at least not having it with your food. If you get your iron levels up, you'll feel much less tired. basically the most iron is in red meat, but if you don't eat red meat, there's lots of really nice vegetarian sources as well. So all your green leafy vegetables. However, having a small salad might not do it. You know, you need quite a lot of it if you're not going to eat lots of meat. So do you know where to get your essential fatty acids from?
What are they exactly?
So it's fat, basically. It's healthy fats. So they call essential because we don't make them. So it's essential for us to have them in our diet. Most of the time it's the omega-3 that is a problem that we don't get enough of.
Where do you get omega-3 from?
So omega-3, the best source to get omega-3 from is what we tend to eat is fish, oily fish like salmon, mackerel, herring, trout, preferably not farmed because then there would be lots of antibiotics and hormones.
How do you work with the blood types? I mean, how is it related to what people can and cannot digest?
Yeah, there's quite a difference in blood types actually. I personally work a little bit with that. Some people don't think it's relevant at all, but I think it's quite relevant. And the most common ones are O and A. So most clients are O or A, and they're totally different. A would do really great on a vegetarian diet. Doesn't really need that much protein from animals, and they just generally they call that the natural vegetarian. Often they have a bit lower hydrochloric acid than O's, for example, which makes them they don't break down their meat very well, which is one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons I think that they don't do well on lots of meat. Their blood is a little bit thicker, so they have more issues with blood circulation and inflammation. And O's are, say they generally they're more energetic people. They sort of need a lot of movement and they need a lot more food and a lot more protein to feel great because they just generally more energetic. But I mean everyone's different, so there's an A that might do really great on meat. There's an O. There's loads of really healthy vegans that are the blood type O. So it's not really a strict science. Like a paleo style diet would suit you quite well, I think. It's no grains as such, so no gluten. They eat meat, very clean meat, so they suggest that you eat sort of grass-fed organic meat. And lamb, chicken, they're better meat than a no pork. But basically what it is clean eating. Lots of vegetables, fruit and some meat. No dairy, no grains as such.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Yes, sounds like a good plan.
I mean, obviously, people are all different. They have different ways of processing foods, different bodies, different blood types. But other things that are, if people implement in their life that, generally will make most people feel better.
Lots of fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
Basically. So 50% of your meal should always consist of vegetables. That's a really good aim.
So
and
it's
they
like
can
having
be
a big salad for lunch with,
Yeah,
with
and it
fish
can
on
be
top.
raw, steamed, boiled, anything really.
Yeah, okay.
Raw gives you more nutrients, obviously, but whatever you can get down is good. Cut out sugar. It's good for everyone. Drink clean water and lots of it from a good source. Organic. Choose organic where you can. Avoid processed foods. All processed foods, really. Try and cook all your food yourself. Avoid or cut down on bread, pasta, potatoes, things like that, and choose something that, instead of having a white loaf, have a brown, a wholemeal loaf. Aim for good food combining. If you have any trouble with your digestion issue, it's a very, very good thing to do. So the whole theory is that each food group has a different transit time in your body and stays for a different time in your stomach. So fruit, for example, stays in your stomach for maybe 20 minutes to half an hour. It's a really quick. It goes in your stomach, out. It's very cleansing food. So, and then, for example, protein stays for maybe 4 or 5 hours in there.
Wow.
So it stays a lot longer. So, for example, if you
That is much
have
longer.
fruit with protein, the fruit will stay in there for 5-6 hours as well. And you can just imagine what happens to that fruit. It will start to ferment and putrefy and create gases and sugar. So, and then you have carbohydrates. They stay for the stomach for maybe 2 hours, something like that, 2.5, 3. So the main rules is that fruit you should eat on its own or not at all. So it's good to have in the morning, for example, or in between meals, so that you don't have it with other food. And then the other thing is that you should not mix starches with protein and fat. So protein and fat goes in something.
Starches are
like your rice or quinoa or pasta, potatoes. You shouldn't mix it with your meat.
I see. So meat is best with like fresh vegetables.
Vegetables mixed with everything. So you can have that. Starchy vegetables do better with starchy food, like with carbohydrates. But most vegetables go with absolutely everything. It's a different way of eating, but if you've been a raw vegan or doing all these things, it's not really a strange thing for you to combine like that. Do some exercise, gym, yoga, any kind of exercise. That would increase your energy levels, and you know that.
Yeah, I should start running again.
You know that. I mean, you go to bed at 1 o'clock and then go up at 7. That just ain't going to. I can see why you're tired. So between 11 and 1 is the main time when your body will create a hormone called melatonin. And that is when that is created. If you do not sleep ever at that time, you will be very low in melatonin.
It's just implementing it, I guess, sometimes is difficult. I mean, you sort of know all these things are great for you, but being able to implement them in your lifestyle can be tricky, especially in our crazy schedules. Yes,
people are very busy at the moment, aren't they? They don't have time to really look after themselves. But if you do get ill, you will realise that health is everything. And if you don't have your health, then you don't really have anything.
Equipped with this knowledge, I had my last tiramisu, or so I hoped, and got ready to start implementing healthy changes. I'm starting to feel like I actually want to get up and go face the day. It hasn't happened to me in a long time. It would take me 2 hours to just get out of bed and feel normal. And it's 6:30 o'clock in the morning. It's really nice. While generally starting to feel better in the first few weeks, I later went a little off-piste, having started on a 5-day juice cleanse during the busiest week in the office, rather than having lots of rest, as my nutrition mentor has recommended. The pressure was higher than I expected, and it made me start slipping back into some of the old ways. I realized that if I was to stick with Åsa's healthy nutrition advice in the long run, I had to stay creative and deal with the opposing forces that surround me. Subscribe to our mailing list on www.idemystify.it to receive the rest of the videos in the series of Nutrition and Exercise for Energy. Can super healthy diet taste delicious? Come back for part 2 of this video to find out, as well as get some inspiration for healthy meal recipes.